Hey friends, this is Somnath, and welcome back to Dollar Sense, the place where your money finally starts making sense. So everyone's talking about 5% savings accounts. Sounds amazing, right? But what if I told you 5% isn't always the smartest choice? In today's video, I'm diving into the truth behind high-yield savings offers in 2025, the pros, the traps, and what smart savers are really doing right now. Let's unlock some real dollar sense. We are well into 2025, and if you've done any looking around for the best high-yield savings account, you're probably seeing a lot of these offers around 5%, APY, or even higher. So it sounds pretty good, right? Yeah, but here's why. 5% APY is not always the best deal. And there's one big thing that almost nobody is talking about that could save you tens of thousands of dollars, so make sure to stick around. First up, 5% sounds good, but what's the real return after inflation? Let's say that inflation is running at 3.5%. If you put $10,000 into a high-yield savings account earning 5% interest, yeah, you'll earn $500 in interest after 1 year. But when you adjust for inflation, that real return drops down to 1.5%. So it's important to consider the real rate of return, which is the interest rate minus the rate of inflation. And this is why I like to use an online inflation calculator like this one from the US Bank. Simply plug in the interest rate you're re-earning, and then we get the inflation rate, and it will tell us what your real return is going to be. And the second catch is that many of these high rates that you see advertised are only temporary. They'll only last for 3 to 6 months. So maybe you jump on one of those deals because you see a 6% APY or something like that. But then, after 6 months, your rate drops down to some much lower amount. So how do you avoid this? Well, let's look at some examples. First, this one from SoFi. Now, if I scroll all the way over to the bottom, you can see key details and disclosures. And if I click on that, it's gone nah. Take me to their full terms and conditions where I can find out more information. And here's the part that you want to look out for. This promotional rate will apply for 6 months from the opening of your account. Now, hopefully they'll have some other fine print around here. Yeah, here it is. Promotional rates may change or terminate at any time at our discretion, and then standard rates apply thereafter. So basically, they can change the rate whenever they want. So make sure you check those terms and conditions. Now, another example is this one from Capital One. And this time, I'm going to go down to the bottom and click on the disclosure over here. And then if I scroll down a little bit, yeah, here's the fine print. Right there on the first page, you're going to see introductory offer. So this rate is going to last for 6 months. And then if I click on the link for more details, it says promotional rate will be in effect for 6 months from the date your account is opened. So again, you want to look out for those introductory offers. Third, liquidity limits. Okay, so you're getting a great rate, but what if you need to access your money? Because remember, a high-yield savings account is meant to hold your emergency fund. Your money that's not being used for anything else and is meant to be accessible, so you need to have easy access to it. Some accounts limit how many transactions you can make each month. For example, you might only be allowed to withdraw 6 times each month. And this can be a problem if you have a big expense that comes up and you did unplan for it. Or if you retry and budget your money by moving small amounts from your checking account to your savings account each week. Having the ability to move money between accounts is essential. So when you're shopping for a high-yield savings account, definitely look out for those limitations. All right, fourth, you don't have to put 100% of your money into a savings account. So what do I mean by this? Well, I know that I mentioned at the beginning of this video that a high-yield savings account is meant to hold your emergency fund and your short-term savings goals. And typically, we recommend having 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses stored in your emergency fund. But once you've done that, you still have all of your other long-term savings goals. And you should just throw all of your money into a savings account, because that's going to erode your purchasing power. Let me show you what I mean. If you have $100,000 and you're able to get 4% interest on your entire balance, you're going to earn $4,000 in interest each year. But if inflation is running at 3%, your purchasing power is still going to decline by 3%. So you're only left with an extra 1% gain. So instead, you can consider splitting up your savings into different buckets. For example, you could put 50% into a high-yield savings account, 25% into short-term bonds, and 25% into Series I bonds or certificates of deposit. This approach can help you earn a higher overall return without taking on any additional risk. And if you want to learn more about saving strategies, I've included a link in the description below that has some more information about that. Fifth, when comparing savings options, you can't just look at the APY. Yes, the annual percentage yield is an important factor, but it shouldn't be the only thing that you're considering. Here are 5 other things to keep in mind. First, interface. Is it easy to navigate and user-friendly? Second, mobile access. How easy is it to move money in and out of your account? Third, customer service. Is there a phone number to call if you need help? Fourth, FDIC coverage. Does it match the amount of coverage offered by traditional banks? And fifth, ease of transfer. Can you easily transfer money from other bank accounts that you might have with that same bank? These factors are important because they can impact how smoothly you're able to manage your money. A lot of people think that the best high-yield savings accounts are gone. Nah, come from online banks. And while that can be true, a lot of larger institutions are now offering high-yield savings accounts as well. So you want to compare all of your options before deciding where to put your money. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it's worth mentioning. A high-yield savings account is a great place to keep your emergency fund and your short-term savings. But for your long-term savings goals, you want to consider investing in the stock market. And one of the easiest ways to do that is through low-cost index funds. Index funds allow you to invest in a diversified portfolio of stocks or bonds with just a few clicks. They're a great way to build wealth over the long term. According to a study by Dalbar, the average investor only earns 2% on their investments. But if they had simply held a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, they would have earned a total return of 8.9% since 1987. If you want to learn more about index funds and how to get started investing, definitely check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.